Bob, there's a lot to talk about Whitworth softball. A lot has happened since the last time we talked. You guys took a trip to California where you won 5 out of 6 games. Over the course of 4 days, you played essentially 7 more games against Northwest Conference opponents, and you won 6 of those. So really, this team is on a roll. But just take us back through the trip to California and how the week played out, and what that has meant for this team.
Yeah, when we put those schedules together over the summer, really coaches essentially are trying to put together some of the top teams in our region, some good competition. And we try not to schedule a spring break at Whitworth very often, because oftentimes we're using that to make up games. But when I put that one together, I figured Chapman or Claremont both would be among the top teams in the SCIAC. Those are things you just do and hope, cross your fingers and hope that ends up being true. And sure enough, both of those teams playing really well. Us traveling, going on the road is very normal to us, but we were already tired going into that trip. And to come out and play the way we did in segments, I still don't feel, and I've said this to a lot of people lately, we still haven't put together a complete game. Defense might let us down, but then the offense picks us up. Defense is sensational, and then for some reason we can't score runs. To go to California and do what we did, let me know that where this team is at, kind of what their mindset really is like. And then to get a break, to be able to stay and enjoy being college athletes, student athletes, enjoy being just friends and having a family and being together, and all of the support that we had down there. It amazes me how well Whitworth softball family and fans travel. So that turned out to be really good. The problem was the way I scheduled it, we didn't know we'd have to land, barely do laundry, and wake up the next day and play one of the top teams in the conference in PLU. So that was a little scary for me, because at the end of the day, the conference is what matters, and we've got to get conference wins. And we were kind of, bottom of the standings, looking up at everyone who are getting games in. And that's not true for all teams. Some teams are struggling to get games in. To come out and split with PLU was something else. And then we got to turn right back around and get on a bus, drive down to Forest Grove, try to get innings in the rain again. Just every time we turn around, Steve, I think there's been a hurdle there for us a little bit. But to watch this team fight through those and to come away with those 5 wins over this weekend, it's tough to go on the road and win in any sport, I think. And to do it the way we did it, playing through each other, it's been pretty special. It's a credit to the leadership on this team. My coaching staff has been unbelievable. And now we get to take a deep breath for just a moment and end with teams that are fighting for the playoffs.
12 games left in the season. Don't have to get on another bus, get on another airplane. Everything's going to happen right here at Marks Field. But you alluded to it a little bit, all of the things that have come up for this team that they've had to overcome in terms of weather and travel and reschedules, and you talked about how tired they are. Can you imagine a team that could have developed more mental toughness than this one at this point in this season?
No, sincerely can't. There might be a team in this conference that I think could have went through what we just went through and had the success that we had. Softball's a funny game. Ball doesn't bounce your way even when you're playing great. So to be as tired as they are and waking up and going to classes today after missing classes yesterday, catching back up, all of those things that come with being a student athlete, I honestly don't. And that's not me being a real big just fan of my team and nobody else could do this sort of approach. It's really difficult what they went through. When I put it on paper and I send it out to some of our supporters, that's when it really hit me. When I write it all down to show what we've been going through and what we have coming up, this was better than it. We were 2 games better over this stretch than I thought we were going to be. Again, it's them trying to still figure out how good that they really can be, and then sincerely just staying in that moment, Steve. That's been a big deal for us. Just not letting things get bigger than they really are in the moments that have been created for us. So it's been pretty special. There's been a couple of times this year I go, why do I do this? And then we have this stretch that we just had, and it's really helped us all refocus just a little bit on what our jobs are.
Talk about the matchup with Lewis and Clark, who we had this week. What do they do well? What challenges will they present?
That's a team where even, I always say this about them, we go back since I've been here 2015, even in their down years, that's always been a tough team to play. And they don't really have many down years anymore, in my opinion. Very well coached, pretty disciplined, becoming even more disciplined, and some things that really help in softball, pitching. And they're one of the better staffs, especially one of their pitchers, one of the better pitchers in this conference. Nothing really changes for us. My challenge right now is, now that we're at home in our own beds and our own schedule, how do we make sure that softball is still a big focus? Knowing the work that they've done to all of a sudden go from the bottom of our standings to being in a really good playoff position. Hopefully that's what drives this team right now. We cannot let up. We can't have all this work that we just did go to waste because we don't come out and play well this weekend against a really good Lewis and Clark team that's fighting to get into the playoffs. So when the year started, these were the teams that I thought were going to be there, and everybody's jockeying for that position right now.